What if the silence you gave her was louder than all the words you used to beg her to stay? What if your absence haunted her more than your presence ever comforted her? That's the part she never expected. She thought you'd wait. That no matter how many times she pulled away, you'd keep showing up. That no matter how many mixed signals she sent, you'd keep decoding them. That no matter how much it drained you, you'd keep pouring into her. Because that's what you always did, right? But here's the truth. Your kindness became routine. Your love became assumed. Your patience became invisible. You were there every time she called, every time she felt lonely, every time she needed validation. And in doing that, you slowly disappeared in her eyes. She stopped seeing your value because you were always in reach. But that ends now, because the strongest move you'll ever make is no move at all. This is the turning point, the part of the story where the man she thought would never walk away does, not out of bitterness, not out of rage, but out of a quiet, unwavering decision to never abandon himself again. That's Stoic mastery, the ability to feel everything and still choose stillness, to be hurt but not reactive, to be disrespected but not vengeful, to be left behind but not broken. Stoicism doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop suffering. You stop giving your power away. You stop explaining your worth to someone who already decided to forget it. You start focusing inward. You begin the transformation, not into someone colder, but someone collected. Someone who doesn't need closure because silence is enough. Someone who doesn't retaliate because rising above is louder. Someone who doesn't chase because he knows his value. This video isn't for the man who still wants to convince her. It's for the man who's ready to vanish. Not to punish her, but to protect himself, to rebuild, to refocus, to regain every piece of himself that he gave away. You're going to learn 10 core truths, blunt, uncomfortable, and powerful, grounded in Stoicism, backed by dark psychology, crafted to make you resilient, detached, and dangerous, in the best way. If you're tired of being the one who always gives more, if you're ready to become the version of yourself who doesn't chase, who disappears and lets them drown in their own choices, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I release what I cannot control. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The fall. She left because you were too available. She didn't leave because you were unworthy. She left because you were always there. You texted first. You double-texted when she didn't reply. You were the one rearranging your life to fit hers, even when she barely made room for you. You gave her presence without boundaries, access without effort. And the bitter truth, she stopped valuing you the moment she felt no risk of losing you. This is the paradox most men miss. When you're too available, you don't look loyal. You look replaceable. The chase dies. The spark fades. You become routine. She knows she doesn't have to earn your time, so she treats it like it's free, and anything that comes without a price is taken for granted. Every time you answered her late-night calls, cancelled plans for her, or let disrespect slide just to keep her happy, you were teaching her that you needed her more than she needed you. But now, that version of you is gone. The man who over-explained, over-pursued, and over-apologized, he's buried. And in his place stands a man who understands that his time is his leverage. That being always available is not strength. It's self-neglect. Real strength is walking away when your presence becomes unappreciated. It's not responding just because she reached out. It's understanding that your attention is earned, not owed. You were never the problem. Your only mistake was making someone your everything when you hadn't made yourself something. That changes today. You reclaim your energy. You pull it back so hard that she feels the void you once filled. And when she does, she'll look around and realize you're not waiting anymore. if you're done being the guy she knew would always be there, if you're ready to let your absence speak louder than all your efforts ever did, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am no longer always available. Number 2. The illusion. She thought you'd always be there. She thought she had time to ignore you, time to test you, time to pull away and come back whenever it suited her. She thought you'd wait, because that's what you always did. She thought your heart was a doormat, that no matter how far she pushed you, you'd still come running. But what she never realized is that even the most patient man has a limit, and once he hits it, he doesn't yell, he doesn't beg, he disappears. She mistook your loyalty for weakness, your patience for passivity, your consistency for neediness. But the truth is, you were just giving her room to show up for you the way you showed up for her. And when she didn't, you didn't explode, you evolved. See, the illusion was hers. She believed you were addicted to her presence. She believed her attention was a gift and that your devotion was guaranteed. But now she's waking up to a reality she never saw coming. You were the gift. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more she saw you as constant, the more she saw you as disposable. She didn't fear losing you because she never imagined she could. That's why she acted like she did. That's why she pulled back, flirted with other men, tested your limits, because in her mind, she had forever. But forever is a myth. And when a man chooses peace over begging, when he chooses distance over drama, when he chooses himself over validation, forever ends fast. Now, she's left scrolling through old messages, watching your stories, wondering why you haven't reached out, why you didn't fight. But she doesn't get it yet. You already did. You fought with your effort. You fought with your patience. You fought with your silence. And now, the fight is over, and she's on the outside looking in. If you're done living in someone else's illusion, if you're ready to break the cycle and make her feel the absence she never saw coming, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I was the gift all along. Number 3. The shift. Pain is the birthplace of power. The pain you're feeling right now, that weight in your chest, that tightness in your throat, the flashbacks you can't control, it's not weakness, it's the ignition point, it's your rebirth. Pain doesn't destroy real men. It builds them, it sharpens them, it rips out the parts of you that tolerated less, that begged for love, that clung to people who treated you like an option. Pain doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're waking up. She thought leaving you would crush you, and maybe it did, for a moment. Maybe you sat in silence, staring at your phone, replaying every memory, wondering where you went wrong. But now you see it. The pain wasn't punishment. It was a message. It was life putting you in front of a mirror and asking, who are you without her? And the truth? You're everything. You're the fire, the foundation, the storm. You just forgot. Every great transformation starts with destruction. The version of you that let her disrespect you needed to die. The one that begged, overgave, and feared being alone, he had to go. And from the ashes, a man rises who doesn't seek healing from the same hand that caused the wound. A man who feels the pain, but doesn't collapse under it. He absorbs it, learns from it, and uses it as fuel. Now she's watching from a distance, expecting to see you stuck, expecting to see you post something desperate or drunk text her late at night. But you won't, because that man no longer exists. You've shifted. The pain taught you that she was never the destination, she was the lesson. And once the lesson is learned, the suffering ends. If you're ready to stop avoiding the pain and start using it to build your new self, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My pain is my power. Number 4. The silence. Detachment is power. You want to know what really haunts her? Not your words, not your anger, not even your heartbreak. What haunts her is your silence. When you stop explaining, when you stop texting, when you stop showing up, that's when she feels it. Because as long as you were reacting, even in pain, she knew she still had a grip on you. But when you go quiet, when you detach emotionally, that's when control shifts. That's when she realizes she lost something real. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't cling. It means you've mastered yourself to the point where you can let go without burning bridges, without seeking revenge, without trying to prove a point. Detachment is power because it shows her and the world that you are no longer dependent on someone else for peace, that your emotions don't own you, that you don't need validation to feel whole. When you go silent, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is magnetic. It makes her question everything. Why hasn't he reached out? Did he move on? Was I not as important as I thought? That silence becomes a mirror she can't look away from, and the more she stares, the more she starts to feel the loss. Not because you begged her to stay, but because you left her with nothing to hold on to. This is where your Stoic discipline comes in. You don't break no contact. You don't watch her stories. You don't check in just to be nice. You let the silence speak, because silence says what words never could. I've moved on, not out of hate, but out of self-respect. If you're ready to let your silence say everything that needs to be said, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is my strength. Number 5. The mirror. Work on yourself, not her. Every time you obsess over what she's doing, who she's talking to, whether she misses you, you lose. Not because she wins, but because you've turned your back on the one person who actually needs your attention, you. The moment she walked away, your mission was never to win her back. Your mission was to win yourself back. The version of you that had purpose, discipline, standards, the man who wasn't living in reaction to someone else's decisions. She is not your project. You are. And as long as your energy is aimed outward, stalking her profile, decoding her posts, wondering if her new guy is better, you're bleeding power. You're watering a dead plant. Meanwhile, your own life is waiting to be rebuilt. Your goals are sitting untouched. Your body is untrained. Your mind is clouded. And all of it? Because you're still living through her shadow. But here's the truth. When you finally turn the mirror on yourself, you stop chasing closure and you start chasing clarity. You start hitting the gym, not to get revenge, but to take control. You start waking up early, reading, building, hustling, not to impress her, but to elevate you. And something wild happens. The more you build yourself, the less you care about her. Her power fades. Her image weakens. You stop wanting her to come back because you realize you've outgrown the version of you that wanted her in the first place. And when she sees the change, the discipline, the confidence, the glow up, it will hit different because it wasn't for her. It was in spite of her. If you're ready to stop checking on her and start checking in with yourself, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am the project now. Number 6. The comeback. She'll notice, but you won't care. They always come back, maybe not with an apology, maybe not with a grand gesture, but they come back, curious, confused, and craving the version of you they never believed could exist without them. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop caring, that's when you show up in her mind uninvited. She'll start watching your stories, liking old posts, sending just checking in texts masked as friendly. But here's the plot twist. You won't care anymore. Because now it's not about her. It's about the fact that you leveled up. You didn't just glow up physically, you evolved mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You didn't become colder, you became collected. She thought you'd collapse without her. Instead, you built something solid without her. You don't respond to breadcrumbs now because you're not starving anymore. You've fed yourself with purpose, with solitude, with a sense of direction that no longer includes her. And when she feels your indifference, that's when it burns. Not because you're being cruel, but because she no longer has access to the man she once overlooked. You're not bitter, you're better. And better doesn't reach back. Better doesn't regress. Better doesn't entertain the same patterns that once broke him. The truth is, she needed to lose you to realize what she had. But by the time she figures that out, you've already turned the page. Because a Stoic man doesn't look back at what abandoned him. He moves forward with what he's built. If you're ready to be the man who doesn't flinch when she comes back, who doesn't respond just because she finally noticed, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, I don't chase what I've outgrown. Number 7. The switch. You're the prize now. There was a time you thought she was the prize, that if you just did enough, gave enough, waited long enough, she'd finally see your worth. But that mindset, that was your cage. That belief kept you chasing, kept you settling, kept you blind to the truth. You are the prize. Not because of ego, not because of arrogance, but because you've done the work, because you've bled, healed, and rebuilt in silence. And now, you're not seeking validation. You're setting the standard. The switch flips when you stop asking, why doesn't she want me? And start asking, why did I want someone who didn't respect me? That's the moment you stop auditioning for people who never deserved a front row seat. You don't chase attention anymore, you command respect. Not through loudness, but through presence, through silence, through the discipline that makes people watch, wonder, and wish they hadn't let you go. Women can feel when the switch happens, when your vibe shifts from needy to neutral, when your energy stops orbiting around them and starts flowing inward. You're no longer the man who seeks permission to feel worthy. You've already decided you are, and when she sees that, she'll remember the guy who used to put her on a pedestal, and she'll realize he's not there anymore. You're not an option. You're not a backup plan. You're not something to revisit when her games don't work elsewhere. You are the table, the storm, the one that got away and never looked back. And she'll feel that in the silence, in your absence, in the way your life moves without her, like she was never the center of it. If you're ready to stop chasing and start choosing, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, I am the prize now. Number 8. The discipline. Emotional control equals ultimate strength. She wanted a reaction. That's why she pulled away, posted those stories, flirted with other guys right where you could see it. She wanted to shake you, to remind you that your place in her life wasn't secure, that she had options. And maybe before it worked. Maybe you texted her in a panic. Maybe you confronted her, begged for clarity, asked what you did wrong. But that version of you, the one who reacted out of fear, out of loss, out of insecurity, is gone. Because now, you understand this. He who controls his emotions controls everything. A Stoic man doesn't get baited. He doesn't crumble when she goes cold. He doesn't chase when she pulls back. He watches. He breathes. He lets silence speak louder than drama. Because emotional control is not about suppressing how you feel. It's about never letting those feelings dictate your power. You can miss her and still not reach out. You can be hurt and still not act from that place. That's strength. That's discipline. And that's what terrifies her. You see, once she realizes you're not emotionally reactive, the game changes. Her usual moves don't land. Her Her silence doesn't panic you. Her tests don't trigger you. And that scares her, not because you're being cold, but because she's lost her grip. She can't manipulate what she can't provoke. You become an emotional fortress, calm, focused, unbothered. And when you master that discipline, everything else falls into place. You stop making decisions from desperation. You stop chasing temporary comfort. You stop needing anything outside of yourself to feel complete. You don't just survive the storm, you are the storm. If you're ready to master your emotions instead of being mastered by them, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My emotions serve me, not control me. Number 9. The mastery, love without attachment. You can love her and still let her go. That's the difference between obsession and mastery, between attachment and power. See, most people confuse love with control. They think if someone walks away, the love dies. But real love doesn't suffocate. It doesn't beg. It doesn't trap. It says, I care about you, but I care about myself more. That's the highest form of discipline. To love deeply, but to never lose yourself in that love. When you were attached, you made her your anchor. Your peace depended on her presence. Your worth depended on her approval. And when she left, it felt like your world collapsed. But that wasn't love falling apart. That was your attachment breaking. And as painful as it was, that was the beginning of your freedom. To master love is to understand that people are not possessions. You don't own her attention, her loyalty, or her body. She is free to leave, and you are strong enough to let her. When you stop trying to hold on, you start rising. And ironically, that's when they come back. Not because you chased, but because you stopped. Because you radiate something rare, self-respect in the face of loss. You don't need to hate her to move on. You don't need revenge to heal. You just need to know you gave your best, you stayed solid, and when it was time, you let go with dignity. That's the kind of man who doesn't break when things fall apart. That's the kind of man who's unforgettable. If you're ready to stop mistaking attachment for love and finally claim emotional freedom, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I let go with power, not pain. Number 10. The legend. You vanished. She crumbled. She didn't expect the silence to last. She thought it was just a phase, that you'd come back like always. But this time, you didn't. You vanished, not to prove a point, but because you finally understood one. Your value isn't proven by your presence. It's confirmed by your absence. And when you left quietly, without drama, without warning, that's when it hit her. The legend of the man who stayed loyal through her chaos and walked away without a sound. You became the one that slipped through her fingers, not because you wanted revenge, but because you were done. Done chasing, done explaining, done lowering yourself to be understood by someone who never planned to see you clearly. Your exit wasn't explosive, it was surgical, clean, precise, cold in the way that only clarity can be. And that's what left the deepest mark. Now, she replays it all. The messages, the missed calls, the late nights she took you for granted. Because she finally gets it. You were the calm in the chaos, the loyalty she didn't know how to handle, the rare energy that doesn't beg to be seen, but haunts the room once it's gone. You didn't vanish to punish her. You vanished because you outgrew the situation, because staying would have meant shrinking, and you've done enough of that already. A man becomes unforgettable not by forcing someone to remember him, but by evolving so much in his absence that forgetting him becomes impossible. You're that man now, stoic, solid, untouchable. She may reach out. She may even regret. But you've already moved into a world where she's just a chapter, not the whole story. If you're ready to be the man who doesn't just walk away, but ascends in silence, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications and comment below. I disappear with dignity, not desperation. You've finished the journey, from heartbreak to mastery, from chaos to calm. This is Stoic Blessing. Stay silent, stay solid, stay legendary.